Today is Thursday, October 22nd. We are at the Vatican Museum.
This was the beginning of our tour of the Vatican, and this is a picture of the Vatican Museum. We were standing outside and we got a little briefing from our tour guide as we were sitting there waiting to get started. We could also see a fantastic view of St. Peter's Dome. The dome on St. Peter's Basilica is better seen from the back than the front. This is our tour guide, and he's showing us pictures of the Sistine Chapel. You couldn't take pictures in the Sistine Chapel, so he was going through what it meant, and you're not supposed to speak in there either. We did get a chance to actually have a prayer from a priest in the Sistine Chapel, which was very cool.
Still October 21st. October 22nd. This is outside the Vatican.
You don't see it so close as from here. But was projected with
More of the Vatican. Still in Rome at the Vatican, and this is a shot of St. Peter's Basilica. Still October 22nd, Thursday. Very crowded location.
This is us posing for pictures in front of St. Peter's Basilica's dome. A great view of it. Renee did a great job getting these pictures.
Inside the Vatican Museum. Just one area. It's super crowded.
One of the best parts of the Vatican Museum was actually the ceiling. So we tried to take as many pictures of the ceiling as possible.
Still inside the Vatican Museum. It's another section.
Although the ceiling was really beautiful, they did like to take pictures, and it's because they're actually mosaics. Again, they're not paintings, they're mosaics. They're small pieces of stone. So every time you could take a picture, that's really what was going on there. In addition to the ceiling, obviously along each side, and there were these statues of various popes, religious figures, caricatures from the Bible. And the walls were just really covered with all kinds of religious artifacts. There were also a lot of Greek artifacts inside the Vatican Museum. It's interesting, they have little fig leaves cover in their private parts. Those were added several hundred years after the figures were actually carved. You know, the ceiling was very beautiful, but also you had to watch out because the floor was equally as beautiful. This is a picture of the floor, and this is pretty much what it looked like almost the entire way you were walking.
Room of tapestries and the Vatican Museum.
One of the highlights of the Vatican Museum is the tapestry room. There is a room, it has to be, I don't know, 50 yards long, and there are these giant tapestries on each side of the walls, each side of the room, covered from floor to ceiling. They have to be 30 by 30, and depicting scenes from the Bible, scenes from Jesus' life. Really amazing. And these are from really the 13th century, so these are around 800 or 900 years old. This tapestry is actually a map of the Roman Empire, again about the year 1200. The last tapestry in the room was this one of Jesus, and his eyes actually followed you as you walked. It was kind of eerie, but really magnificent tapestry.
Still Thursday, October 22nd. We are in Rome, inside St. Peter's Basilica. Beautiful church with a million people mulling all around. And I've lost Carol, Tony, and Tom. Sure they're in here somewhere. It's beautiful. More video inside St. Peter's Basilica. I am now shooting the ceiling. Unbelievable. Beautiful building.
This is inside St. Peter's Basilica, inside St. Peter's Church. There were many, probably 50 to 100 popes buried inside the church in different sarcophagus. This is a picture of the altar in St. Peter's Church. Everything again was all mosaic, so these aren't painted. These are mosaics from small little stones, or they're marble statues, so you could take pictures of everything. This was really neat. This is a picture of St. Peter, or a statue of St. Peter, and you can rub his foot as a blessing.
Shot of the main altar, St. Peter's Basilica. Tom, Carol, and Tony following our tour guide. He's got a green flag. We're in St. Peter's Square. This is a monument to where St. Peter, or about St. Peter's crucifixion. Let's see. Swing around to get more of St. Peter's Church, which is here. Huge area. All the way around.
And everyone will recognize this. This is St. Peter's Square. Statue outside. This is where the Pope holds Mass. It's also historically the location that St. Peter was crucified upside down. And there's a giant monument there, supposedly on the site that occurred. Our tour in Rome included lunch at a classic Italian restaurant called Casanova. So here we are. Actually, I think this was right after we ate, so we probably look a little fatter, but really a nice meal. This is an Italian government building. Not quite sure what type of building, but it was on the top of about 100 stairs. I think 110 stairs actually. So it was difficult to get there. But again, very nice, very beautiful, statues everywhere. Italy is not very old. The country's only about 110 years old, so it's newer than the United States. And this is one of their government headquarter buildings. Again, very ornate, a lot of statues outside. Certainly looks like Rome.
This is the Forum in Rome. Another shot of the Forum in Rome. I'm trying to go slowly.
Here we are outside the Roman Forum, the ruins from the Roman Forum. It's enormous. At one time, these buildings, you can see some of the columns. There were hundreds of columns that high. Now it's just all ruins. We didn't actually go down and walk in the ruins because we didn't have time, but really unbelievable scenery, unbelievable location. And again, this is on the order of 2,000 years old. It's hard to believe civilization was that advanced that long ago.
Carol walking down the road in Rome. Tony and Tom way ahead of us. It's a shot of the Colosseum in Rome.
Here we are walking over to the Colosseum, and the Colosseum was the largest arena in the world until the 1920s. So from 300 to 1920, it was the largest sports stadium in the world.
It's Carol and Tony and Tom going toward the Colosseum.
The Colosseum hosted all kinds of shows, circuses, lions, tigers, but actually Christians were never sacrificed there. This Roman arch was built using stones from the temple in Jerusalem. The arch was our last stop after a very long day, and we got back on the bus and drove back to the boat and getting ready for dinner. That evening we had a captain's reception for everyone celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. Carol and Tony had some drinks and a party, and it was really, really nice, and we renewed our vows by the captain.